How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust Animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Chiata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Chiata is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
I'll find us another bed.
his mother? Blessed a shame.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I can think of one. He's an entitled little worm who can't stand to be proven wrong.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an Animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. We'll have fewer resources to work with, but anything's possible. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want, on my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see a Nadiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of Animancers. Likewise, they should be educational for us both. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Sorry. I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Misiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be all right. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the Animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Don't worry. Ignacy can't banish us all. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name, and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. I'd rather you find that out for yourself. Whatever it is, I won't be disappointed. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Did you hear that? Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giada needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
Who wouldn't? My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Ah, of course. The idea is a bit high-minded. Adra acts like a pathway for souls as they rejoin the wheel.
And the Dream Scourge is a plague of the soul, is it not?
So, just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else... With enough essence and a capable Animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?
Envoy, a pleasure as always. Giatta Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Silvo is one of my Revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put a poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a Revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Silvo is on a strict diet, but I suppose he could have gotten into the crops when my back was turned. You never know with these rascals. Outsiders and travelers down on their luck. You'd be surprised how many people want to sell their bodies to Animancy.
Say what you will about mercenary and military life. At least your obligations end at death.
Anyone else see a downside to giving monetary value to corpses?
This is a good forever home for the undead. Better than some crypt, anyway. But sometimes we have bad days. Really? Oh, I've always wanted a godlike for the stables. Deal! You've made me a very happy Animancer.
Make sure she doesn't try to collect till after your death.
I'm not dragging your corpse back here from some ancient ruin, I'll tell you that.
Once you've dealt with Silvo, we can finalize the arrangements. Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a Revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets.
more.
Emerald Stair has seen better days. With any luck, the turning of the seasons will favor us. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. And end up like Giata? No, thank you. The corpses, they need me. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giata are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock. Ah, before I forget, here's a down payment on your body. And here's your collar. Try not to lose it. You're going to love it here. Hopefully not for a while, though.
Great. Now I have to add to my list of idiotic ideas.
Let's hope we steer clear of assassins for the time being.
Careful! Or we'll get thrown out of the pub! We're already... Ado! Well, really?
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. We can't make something out of nothing. We're still limited by our resources. I could use a large single block of Atra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delumgon queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
If you can convince her to hand it over, I'll be more than impressed.
Take him down. Take your best shot. Everybody all right? Nice shot!
Trail goes through the ravine and into the glade. Careful where you step. Maybe we don't go inside the ancient creepy tower. Just a thought?
Right behind you.
Here they come. Oh, no, you don't. Stay down. Good fight.
Look at that. After you, envoy.
This one's mine.
Behind you!
On your right. Let's see what you got.
Quit moving!
That's more like it.
Quiet as the depths.
It's like nature shaping these ruins into something. Like a shrine, but for who?
A welcome visitor. It has been so long since one of your kind has walked in this grove. I mean one from the land, your kind. But why have you come here? A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. When we become enemies of the land, it goes against our nature. We had no choice. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. But wait. No. No. So many dead. So many of my kin are dead by your hand. The time for words has passed.
Not bad, Marius.
We got them all.
think, what if I wasn't a monster? Of course. What would you do? Ado!
For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. With any luck, I can tell you a great deal. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
The spark ignites a flame. An idea ignites a war.
Hello? You still with me? Good. We're getting somewhere. Hey, let's go over your results. Your soul has a fascinating internal structure. Perfectly balanced. An artist couldn't have made it better. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. God, my condolences. Those two are a handful, even for animancers. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. The stress of war can leave a mark on the soul, but this is different. Quite different. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land. Diverted, like the flow of a river. Purposeful, maybe, but to what end? Regardless, essence doesn't just disappear. It must be going somewhere. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
Yeah, I'll be honest. He lost me when he started talking about souls. What did I miss?
And I really loved him.
I hope you aren't afraid of lightning. Where there's animancy, there's bound to be lightning. Good timing. I'm about ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? That's the fun part of metaphysics. Everything is strange, but nothing is new. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. Under the circumstances, the two are not so different. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Think of it as a spiritual tuning fork, or a dowsing rod. It has many functions, some more obvious than others. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. The door to the basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.
That's where her parents died. I'm glad we can spare her from having to go back.
Okay, walking into the basement of an Animancer I just met. Right, feels great. Don't know what I expected, but this isn't it.
Haven from the blight. Who grows here?
I feel pretty certain that those people aren't supposed to be plants.
What a horrific fate.
Beauty reborn. A life of peace.
Gods. We can leave now, right?
Poor Giada. To think she's been living with this right under her nose. Trees are tearing at their walls, but they still find time for a good debate.
I don't. Anyone know what happened back there?
I think those were Giada's parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're dead?
Or something like that.
Gods. I can't believe this.
You're back. You found it. You actually found my inheritance. Did you see my mother and father? Are they still there? For the time being, that would be best. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. Don't worry. It's more durable than it looks. Kind of like me. The only thing we're missing now is an Adra pillar. And I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Fjord. There should be some equipment waiting for us. That rugged thing? It's as dry as a bone. Hardly any essence left. Even if it wasn't, I'm not exactly welcome in the workshop these days. We used it to study the Adra pillar. Then some priests moved in and took offense at our work. I hope they haven't tampered with the equipment, or this will be a very short experiment. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Fjord. No telling how long we'll be gone. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety. That was not my finest hour. I was so angry. Mistakes were made. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, I don't want there to be any mistakes.
Sounds good. I need to do some hunting anyway.
Once we're all together, we should trade ghost stories. Best way to get acquainted. In the meantime, let's be off.